Hi everyone, welcome back. The next topic which we will be exploring in Spring Boot JPA is custom queries. As we already know, the repository in Spring Boot JPA generates the implementation of few methods by default. And these methods interact with the underlying database or tables to perform the required CRUD operations. Like, for example, if you go and check any of the application which is being provided, we are given with the default methods. Like, for example, let us check the names of those. See, here we have saves, count, all these are the default methods like find all by ID, find one. So all these are the default methods which are being provided, and we have been using that in the applications in the service layer. Now the thing is, in some of the applications, we need the custom functionality in which the default methods which are being provided by the repository are not sufficient. So there is a need to use the custom methods in the repository. So how to provide these additional custom methods in the repository? There are two different approaches. One is by providing the custom method declarations. See, here we follow specific patterns for the method names, which includes specific operation which need to be performed and the name of the fields which are in the entity class, along with the appropriate parameters and return types. Now let us take a quick look at the source code. See, until now, if you see the repository layer, by default, we do not provide any of the custom functionality here. Okay, and we leave it empty, and the JPA repository provides the implementation of the certain default methods. But generally in the real-time applications, the default methods are not sufficient, and there is a need to provide the additional custom functionality in the JPA repository. So how to provide the additional custom functionality in the repository layer? There are two different approaches. One is by using the method name, number one. Number two is by using @query annotation. So which one to use? You can use any one. But the first one is of high priority. The reason is here you need not give any query. You have to just follow certain pattern for the method name. Say, for example, I want to find based on the method, I want to find based on the name of the person and the country. Okay, see here find is the operation basically which I'm trying to perform. I want to select it, and I want to select based on the name and country. See, by default, the JPA repository does not provide this one, and if you need to provide the declaration of this. Now the point is, if you provide the declaration, who is generating the method implementation for this? See, the Spring Boot JPA is so powerful that based on this method name, it generates the implementation for you during the runtime and injects it so that it is available to us automatically. So what you need to do is you need to provide the operation which you want to perform. Number two, the fields which you need. See here, you are trying to perform the AND operation. Okay. So basically what does this mean? Means you are trying to select the underlying records who are having so and so name and the country. So it returns the list of user objects. And as usual, you can invoke this from the service layer or wherever, and you can consume it to perform any additional business logic, or you can give back to the client through the REST controller. Okay, fine. Now the question is, what happens if I try to use some other name here? Like for example, I'll try to use country ABC. See here, it checks for the name of the fields. That is, I have name and I have country. And if you go to the user, I very much have the country field, I have the name. So if you try to use any other, it gives an exception to you in the runtime. So you can check that. And here you need to provide the appropriate parameters. So if there is any mismatch, either in the return type or the method name used or the parameters, an exception is being generated. The reason is it cannot be recognized in the compile time. So this is just a simple example for the method names, the custom functionality in the repository layer based on the method name. We'll see much more examples. Like for example, you want to use the pattern by using like, or you want to check greater than, less than, equal to, or you want to sort the results in the ascending order, descending order of so and so field. For all that, we have a specific method name patterns, which I'll be introducing to you in the next lectures. So that is about providing the additional custom functionality in the repository layer using the name of the method and the declaration. The next approach is by using @query annotation. See here in this case, the name of the method does not matter. See, if you observe here, I'm using find ABC. You use whichever required, find XYZ, whichever, it does not matter. Even you need not use find here. Okay. Here, the functionality is being generated based on the @query. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll try to pick a bit easier one. Okay, maybe I'll try to pick this one, which is easy for us to understand. Then we will explore others. See, all these are using @query if you observe, but there are some small variations in that. Okay, so I'm introducing all different possible variations so that you can add in your actual projects. Fine. So first, let us explore this one. So what exactly I'm trying to do here? See, see in @query, you provide the query. Fine. This is the query. So you may be wondering, is it SQL query or it is JPQL query? Okay. See, in SQL query, basically the elements which you mention here are the underlying DB table and the DB table column names. That is called the native query. So we have an example for native query here. We'll go to that in a while. So in the meanwhile, this is not a native query. This is called JPQL query. I am trying to specify the query based on the entity class name. See, this is the entity class name. Got it? And based on the data members or the fields in the entity class. In our case, the field name and the DB column name is same. So there is no difference. But the entity class name is using user, whereas the underlying DB table name is user info. We'll be going to this native query in a while. Right. So going back here to our JPQL query. See here you specify, as already said, you specify the entity class name and you specify the entity class fields. Okay. Now the question is, what is this column country? See, here I'm trying to select all the users who has so and so country. Okay. It is not a like operation. It is exactly equals. Okay. Right. See here I'll be receiving the country and we need to use @param annotation and give some alias name to that so that I can refer these in my JPQL query. So that is the reason I gave a alias name, which is actually same as the actual parameter name, but it can be different. For example, if this can be a P country and you can specify the P country here. Fine. Now let's revisit this JPQL query. Select U. U is basically an alias for the object of user. Basically here we'll be referring the objects, not the underlying rows or records in the DB table. So this is not the table name. This is the entity class name. Here you can give any alias name for the user. which you need to specify here, because you are trying to get the complete object. And the condition, additional condition I'm trying to mention is u.country equal to the country which is being received as a parameter. Fine. So this column country is nothing but it is a the parameter which I'm referring as a country. You can rename it to P country and you may refer that as column P country here. That very much works fine. Now our doubt is who provides the implementation of this? The implementation of this is automatically being provided by the Spring Boot JPA repository. It is the implementation is being provided and it is being injected so that we can use in the service layer or wherever required using the auto wiring. Now, here, what we are trying to do is, here we are giving the country. So is it guaranteed? This is called a named parameter. It's not mandatory to use the named parameter. For example, if you go back here, I'm not using the named named parameter. Rather, I'm just receiving it as a normal parameter and I do not have any name. So I can refer it using this question mark 1, 2. So question mark 1 means the first parameter and there can be additional number of parameters which you can specify here. Right. Now, so let's explore this one. See what I am trying to do here. See, there is a small difference between this one which we have explored, where I'm selecting the complete object, but here I'm not selecting the complete object. Rather, I'm trying to select only the subset of the fields. Okay, fine. If you see here, I am trying to select only the country and the name. I do not want the ID for whichever purpose. In our entity class, we have only 3 fields. One is ID, the other is name, the other is country. But in a real application, there can be 10 fields. But when I am trying to retrieve, I'm interested only 4 fields. I'm not interested in others. And when I'm not interested, I do not want to retrieve it to save the runtime memory or for whichever reason. So you can specify only the fields which you are interested. This is called projection. Okay, fine. And here if you observe, I'm trying to use some other class name, that is user country name class, and I'm not actually using the user. Fine. User basically is the complete entity class. And user country name is basically a simple POJO class which has only the specified fields as the data members, and there are appropriate constructors and the setter getters basically to facilitate to set and retrieve the data. Okay. Now going back to our repository again, I am trying to do the same thing even here as well. Okay, but I try to slightly elaborate the POJO class name. Basically, I use the POJO class name here, and I also try to specify the appropriate package to refer the class name. Okay, fine. And here I did not use any where clause. Basically, I want to select all the objects of these entity class which are existing in the underlying DB table. Fine. Right. As already known in the JPQL, we are not interested to refer the underlying DB table name or the column names. Rather, we will refer the entity class name and the fields in the entity class. Right. So I think now you have clarity here. This is JPQL query. This is also JPQL query. This is a native query. So whether it is native query or JPQL query, the method definition or the implementation is being generated by the Spring Boot JPA. As already known, in native query, I specify that native query equal to true, number one. Number two, I'll be specifying here the DB table name and not the entity class name. Here as well, we are using the alias u, and this country and the name are DB column names. Okay, right. So that is about the custom functionality in the repository. Here you may be thinking that I need to use JPA repository only. Not necessarily. Even it can be with the CRUD repository. You can add the custom functionality like this. Okay. So now let's try to run. So I'm already running this, and I have sample data in the underlying DB table. And say here I have a number of custom methods which I have additionally provided in the repository. But just to test some of them, what I'm doing is I'm invoking these from the repository layer. So from the repository layer, whenever this method gets invoked, that is the get user, from the REST controller, I am trying to just invoke a couple of them just to check how the custom repository methods work. So I'm invoking the find XYZ and find ABC, and I'm getting the whatever the appropriate return object, and I'm just trying to iterate and print it. Fine. Here I'm using the enhanced for loop to iterate and print, and here we are using the for each. Okay. And this get user is being invoked from the REST controller, but even before going there, we are getting the instance of the or the bean of the user repository by auto wiring. So all the additional functionality which is being provided is available in this user repository, so which I'm trying to refer here. Okay, so using a user repository, I can invoke any existing methods provided by default by the repository. Okay, all these are the default methods which are being provided, right? And these are the custom methods whose details we have specified in the repository, right? Fine. So let me try to clear it. Right. So this get user, which is in the service layer, I am invoking from the controller from this place. Okay. So I'm not discussing this in detail. The reason is we have been exploring this example almost since the beginning. The only additional functionality is we have added the custom queries or methods in the repository layer, and these custom methods, some of them I have invoked from the service layer. Okay, get user method of the service layer. So basically I'll be hitting this REST endpoint from our Postman so that this get user is invoked. So wherein the control goes to the get user here, and further this gets invoked, and here I'm just trying to print in the console. Okay, so if you do not want to use system.println to print in the console, you can use any logging framework such as log4j. Okay, right. So this is just an introduction for the custom methods, but still I try to cover the different possibilities. Anyhow, I'll take a few more lectures to provide more in-depth details. For example, I'll be taking the custom method name and I'll be providing more examples. Similarly with @ query, I'll be taking, and I'll be providing more examples. Okay, so that will be added in the coming lectures. But in the meanwhile, let me try to hit the REST endpoint from the Postman tool, and let us check if it is working fine. Okay. So here, if you observe, so I'm trying to print all the objects which are being returned by find XYZ, okay, after this line. So basically, I have find XYZ here, and after that, I'm printing all of that. Okay, so let's just go back and see in the repository layer what exactly is in the find XYZ. Okay, so if you observe in the find XYZ, so basically this is a native query. Okay, and one more point is it is discouraged to use native query. It is encouraged to use the JPQL query. Okay, that is because of portability reasons. Fine, portability reasons means here, in case of JPQL query, the query is common irrespective of the underlying DBMS which you use. Okay, so let it be PostgreSQL or Oracle or maybe MySQL, your JPQL query remains same. But here there is in native query, there is a chance that you need to change it. Okay, so due to portability reasons, it is highly encouraged to use the JPQL query. Fine. Next. So I suggest in your actual projects, do not go for native query unless and until you have the necessity to use some customized functionality where you are trying to join the multiple tables, etc., and which you cannot really achieve through the JPQL. In that case, you can go for native query. All right. Otherwise, you can go for the JPQL query. All right. So next, if you go to the service layer, we are invoking the find ABC. So the find ABC is basically it is a JPQL query. Fine. So I'm just trying to retrieve it using the projection, that is only the selected fields I'm trying to take rather than the entire object. Fine. Okay. So we have verified that the functionality is working fine. Now, what I would like to show you is, so I'm providing this source code example I'm attaching in the lecture so that you can download and import it as a Maven project in your Eclipse or any IDE. And you can change the database name or whichever in the application.properties. See, this is the database name. And my MySQL DB is working in this 3316. Okay, I specified the driver. So you need not change the driver. The only thing is you try to use MySQL 8. Fine. So this is the port number on which the database server is running. It is running locally. So I'm using the local host. This is the 8993 is basically the port on which the web server is running. Okay. So, all right. So basically from here, I'll be hitting the web server where the REST endpoints are being exposed. And from there, it interacts with the underlying database through the repository. Fine. And this is the username and the password. So you can use the appropriate username and password. In the production, it is discouraged to use root. Rather, you can try to use a specific username which has limited privileges based on your functionality. Fine. Now, let's try to play around and try to understand a bit more about this. See here, what I'm going to do is I'll try to use, okay, some field name which actually doesn't exist, and let us see what happens. So it automatically gets restarted. The reason is I have added the dev tools in the form.xml. Fine. See here, I'm getting an exception. if you go and observe, I am getting an exception. Let us find the reason. See, anytime when you get an exception, go to the firstmost line where the exception occurs, first few lines. Okay. So don't get scared by looking at all the exception. There is no necessity. Generally, you will get almost the complete information from the first few lines. Okay. So I go to the first few lines and the last part of the first few lines. Okay. If I don't get the details there, then I'll try to explore the complete lines. Here, if you see, it is telling that no property GHJ found for type string traverse the path that is user.country. Okay. So it's telling that user in the country, okay, I'm trying to explore GHJ, I'm not able to find. Okay. So you'll get an exception like this. Fine. So there is one thing which I want to specify. And instead of and, obviously you can have or here. Okay. That time the or operation will be performed. Okay. And more interesting patterns of these method names we will be discussing in the next lecture. Fine. Right. Then even here as well, if you want to, okay, let's do one thing. Let me just save this one. Yes, it got restarted. So what we'll do is just to try out, let us try to invoke this find ABC1, okay, and let's try to print it there. Fine. So let's try for that. So let's do it from the same place where it is user service IMPL. The code is bit cluttered. Okay, so please rearrange a bit in your actual projects, right? So I'm trying to invoke find ABC1, number 1. So let me give find ABC1, and here let me rename it to LOBJS1. Okay, right? But I'm getting an error here. So let me go and check if there is any mismatch in the. Okay, see, basically I'm trying to get the name of the country, sorry, yeah, name of the person as a string. Okay, so, and I'm trying to refer here. All right, so let me go here and I'll specify the name of the person. See, it is not like operation, basically it's checking the exact equal to. So what I'll do is I'll try to take the name of a person which is exact equal to. I copied it, I'm placing it here. Okay, great. And so I'll be getting the country and the name because I use projection here. Okay, if you go and observe, I'm specifying only the these couple of things. Okay, so let us see if you may ask me like I did not specify this new and all this. Okay, let us explore if I can do like this as well instead of specifying the new keyword and the actual class name. Let us see if it automatically picks. Fine. So going here, I think everything looks okay. Let me clean up the logs here so that it will be easy for me to check the output. Right, let me hit the rest endpoint. Okay, so ideally you can have a different rest endpoint for each one of them, but here we just need only for checking how these custom repository methods work. So right, so here we are getting an exception. Okay, fine, let's go and check the exception here. So if you observe, the exception has occurred, there is some problem in invocation of this specific functionality which we involve, but still the web server is running and the other REST endpoints can be very much accessed successfully. Okay, so it's telling no converter found capable of converting from type abstract JPA query tuple backup to the type user country name. See, basically what it is telling is it is unable to convert to the user country name. So what I'm trying to specify is you cannot use like this. Okay, so you need to go with the in the repository layer. You need to specify the this. Okay, so if you see, the only difference is here we have a where clause, there we do not have a where clause. So let me try to add it here, right? All right. And I don't think this actually this fully qualified name is required. The reason is anyway you are importing it, okay, and it's recognizable. Anyway, I'm keeping that and going forward. So let me clean up this one. And let me hit the REST endpoint once again. Yes, so this time, yes, find ABC1. Here what I'm trying to do is, here I'm checking where username is $1, but I'm trying to get all of them. Like I say after find ABC, it is basically specifying all of them here. Okay, so there is some problem here. Okay. Yes, the reason it is printing all of them is I'm trying to print the previous list of objects rather than this. So let me try now. So the application has booted up. So I'll try to clear and hit the REST endpoint once again. Yes, we are good now. So as you see here, I'm getting the records. Okay, only which are BBB. Okay, so fine.